Hello friends. Today's story, Beggar turned merchant. Must hear the story till the end. There used to be a beggar at a railway station in a city. He used to fill his stomach begging the passengers sitting in the trains coming there. One day while he was begging, a tall man wearing a suit boot showed him. He thought that this person looks very rich, he would definitely give me good money on begging. He started begging the tall man. Seeing the beggar, the tall man said, "You always ask, do you ever give anything to anyone?" The beggar said, "Sir, I am a beggar. I always keep asking people, where is my position so that I can give something to someone?" The tall man said, "When you cannot give anything to anyone, then you have no right to ask. I am a businessman and believe in transactions only. If you have something to give me, then only I can give you something in return." Then he came to the station where that tall man was to land. He got off the train and left. Here the beggar started thinking about what he said. The words said by that tall person went down in the heart of that beggar. He started thinking that maybe I do not get much money in begging because I am not able to give anything to anyone in return. But I am a beggar, I am not even able to give anything to anyone. But for how long I will just keep asking for nothing without giving people anything. After thinking a lot, that beggar decided that whichever person begging him, he will definitely give something to that person in return. But now the question was running in his mind that if he is a beggar himself, what can he give to others in return for begging? It had been 2 days of thinking this thing, but he had not received any answer to his question. On the third day, as he was sitting near the station, he got an eye on some flowers which were blooming on the plants around the station. He thought, why don't I give people some flowers instead of begging? He liked this idea and he plucked some flowers from there. Now he reached the train begging. Now, whenever someone begged him, he would give some flowers to the beggar in return. People used to keep those flowers with them happy. Now the beggar would pluck the flowers every day and in exchange of begging, distributed those flowers to the people. In a few days, he realized that now many people are begging him. He used to pluck all the flowers near the station. As long as he had flowers, he was begged by many people. But when the flowers were finished distributing, he would not even get alms. Now it continued like this every day. One day while he was begging, he saw that the same tall person was sitting in the train, due to which he was inspired to give flowers instead of begging. He immediately reached out to the person and said, begging, "Today I have some flowers to give you. If you beg me, I will give you some flowers in return." The tall man gave him some money as alms and the beggar gave him some flowers. The tall man liked it very much. He said, "Wow, today you two have become a businessman like me." After saying this, the tall man got down at his station with flowers. But what was said by the tall man once again landed in the heart of that beggar. He started thinking about the line said by the tall man again and again and became very happy. His eyes started glowing now. He started to feel that now his hand has become the key of success by which he can change his life. He immediately got down from the train and excitedly looking up at the sky in a very loud voice said, "I am not a beggar, I am a businessman. I too can become like that tall person. I can also become rich." When people saw him, he thought that this beggar might have gone mad. And from the next day the beggar never showed up at that station again. But 6 months later, two men were traveling in the same station wearing suit boots. When both of them saw each other, one of them shook hands with the other and said, "Did you recognize me?" The other person said, "No, because according to me we are meeting for the first time." The first person said, "No, you remember, we are not meeting for the first time but for the third time." The other person said, "I don't remember, when did we meet twice before?" Now the first person smiled and said, "We met twice in the same train earlier." I am the same beggar whom you told in the first meeting what I should do in life. And in the second meeting told who I really am. The other person smiled and said in astonishment, "Oh, remembered. You are the same beggar whom I once refused to give alms and the second time I bought some flowers from you. But today, where are you going in this suit boot and what are you doing these days?" Then the first person said, "Yes, I am the same beggar. But today I am a very big businessman of flowers and I am going to another city for the same business." After pausing for some time, he again said, "You told me in the first meeting the law of nature according to which we get something only when we give something. This transaction rule actually works. I have felt this very well. But I always considered myself a beggar, I never thought to rise above it, and when I met you for the second time, you told me that I had become a businessman. Now I understood that I was not really a beggar but a businessman. I had understood why people are begging me so much because they were not begging me but paying the price of those flowers. Everybody was buying my flowers because where would they get cheap flowers? I was a small businessman in the eyes of the people, but I was a beggar in my eyes. When you tell me, I understand that I am a small businessman. I bought a lot of flowers from the money I had collected from distributing flowers in the train and became a flower merchant. People here like flowers very much, and their choice made me a big businessman of flowers today. The two merchants were now happy and got together when they came to the station and proceeded to talk about their business. Bye, friends, take care.